This message is for all the small businesses out there, the ones that are maybe struggling with their marketing. They're not quite sure if what they're doing is working, or maybe you're a startup or you're just getting your feet wet into the business and you're not sure where to begin or what the best thing to do is. Well, this video is going to offer you 3 simple techniques that you can start right away. As soon as you're done watching this video, you can take this and you can run with it, and you're going to put some skin in the game. You're going to get started. You're going to feel confident in your business, and you're going to see results right away. I have confidence in you. You have to love your craft. You have to love your business. As an entrepreneur, you have to really, and maybe I'm speaking for a lot of other entrepreneurs, is you set out on a path because you didn't want to be working for someone else. You wanted to see your vision through. You wanted to see make an impact to the world and see your dream come true. And I know that a lot of people out there struggle with the idea of advertising and marketing. Whenever you have this grandiose idea, you work really hard to get yourself into a position that you can actually take advantage of becoming an entrepreneur. I know a lot of entrepreneurs aren't built overnight, but at some point along the line, you want to learn how to scale it. You want to learn how to maybe effectively use your ad budgets, or make sure you're not wasting money on doing the wrong thing. But these three areas of marketing you can get started with right away, and are on my top 3 list. They're the top things that I would do if I were a small business owner, service provider, or startup company that maybe doesn't have a ton of budget or hasn't budgeted a ton of money. These 3 things are the pillars of the advertising business, and some of it may seem trivial to you, but there are techniques and tactics to do these 3 things the right way. So number 1 is using social media. Yeah, sure, Kenny, everybody knows that. Like, that's a duh moment. And some of you might be like, oh, that's an aha moment. But in 2020, 2021, social media is not going away, and there are techniques and tactics that you need to be doing in social media. And the number 1 thing in social media is video. If you are a business owner and you haven't done a live video or some sort of video on YouTube or Facebook, and you post it there across social media, you're not going to see as much visibility on these platforms organically without paying for some major traffic. But number 1 is social media and video. Use video. You could be, if you're an electrician, a plumber, it doesn't matter what business you are. You need to have everyone has a camera. Everybody has a mobile phone that can shoot video. Show people your business. Talk a little bit about it. You got into this business as an entrepreneur to be an expert in your craft and to make your family money. But yes, you are the authority, and you have a lot to offer people. Don't think just because you're an electrician, you're a plumber, or you're a lawyer or a realtor, that you have boring, like your stuff is boring. That is totally not the case. There's so many things unique about you that the world needs to see. It can be small, like short little clips that show a small segment of what you're doing. Document, create, and obviously do your thing and support your customers, but just give us a glimpse into what you do and how you do it and where you do it and what you believe and your why, and share that with the world a little bit. And you can use these videos, go live, post them live, start growing your organic reach in social media, and you'll be surprised. You have You have a small group of inner circle people that follow you, your friends, your family. It starts with them, and all you have to do is create some content every week. It could be once a week, but the more you make, the better. But obviously you have to focus on your business. So I would start with one a week, or if you can do more than that, that's great. But get a video, go live, so you don't have to focus on, it doesn't have to be a grandiose production. That's where a lot of business owners maybe kind of get stuck, is they feel like everything has to be so grandiose and wonderfully produced, because of course that's what happens. We grew up in an era where TV was all, broadcast television. People were, had makeup, and everything was so formal. But nowadays with social media, your voice is what matters most. And as long as your camera's not moving all around and crazy, get yourself a decent tripod. Just throw the thing on a tripod for 5 minutes. But people want to see, they trust what they can see. You have to build trust as a service provider. You can't just expect to start a business and then it flood. Your doors are going to be broken down with customers like zombies. You like going after, their meal. You can't expect like the apocalypse of customers to come along. You have to serve your customers well, because without a good product, you will never get anywhere. You will never, without loyalty and trust, and of course a great product, great service rather. If you're providing your human touch, your expertise, coaches, it can be a variety of different things, variety of different areas of your expertise. But the thing is, you have to do it well, and you have to care about your customers. There's so many small businesses that fail because they just don't care about their customers. So bottom line is, use social media to show who you are these days. And then what the cool part is, you can take that same content after you post it live on Facebook. It creates the recording, so you can send people to those recordings, and you can download your videos from there, and you can cut them up and piece them up and run them as advertising. If you found a specific segment worked really well and you're proud of it, and you know that post is getting a lot of shares and likes, you can take that content and you can repurpose it and use it in your advertising. And that leads me to my second bit of advice. Run at least one Facebook ad. One Facebook ad, and it could be the video that you posted live. Take that video after it's gotten some momentum, and maybe people have been sharing it, and it's kind of a good video. Take that and you don't necessarily boost it. You can boost it, but I'd be careful with boosting the posts. I've mentioned this in prior videos. Be careful with that, because it doesn't offer you the interface itself doesn't lend itself to offering as many options as far as targeting is concerned. So be careful when you hit the boosted post and you bump up the figure. I wouldn't recommend really going more than $50 on a boosted post if you're just starting out. You got to be really careful, because it'll just send to random people. The targeting is not there. So what you really need to be doing is setting up a business Facebook account, an ad account for your company, and then any kind of business endeavor you do, you can have multiple ad accounts in your Facebook business account. But that right there is an entirely different video. But for the sake of this video, run one Facebook ad, but make sure it's targeted to the right people. Make sure, it could be people who visited your website, and make sure you follow the instructions on a previous video I made about installing the pixel on a one-page website that leads you to, that has the Facebook pixel on the thank you page. So really what you're doing is you're taking your ad that your video that you produced in Facebook, and you're going to either cut a segment of that out, download it, and then you're going to create an ad, Facebook ad from that video, the one that you knew that got the engagement. And then you're going to target it to a very specific audience. It could be locally, and this is the cool part. You can take it and you can promote, that 15-second, 20-second. I wouldn't go more than 30 seconds for this clip. So I'd take a really interesting piece of it and I'd promote that on using Facebook ads to a local audience. The cool part about Facebook is you can target a specific user, age, their likes and dislikes. Like if you really know your customer, and that's part of the reason a lot of businesses fail, is they really don't necessarily dissect who their ideal customer is. I mean, every business owner I know says, well, everybody buys my stuff. Like they really don't really pay too much attention to customer persona, like who is it that's really buying. So pay attention to that. Do some research on your customer base and figure out where they're from, what their likes and dislikes are, and what their age is, and then that'll be closer to what your ideal customer, and that'll help make your ads more effective. But the bottom line is, if you're going to run Facebook ads, you need to have a targeted audience, and you need to take that video that you made that had some engagement and run it in a Facebook ad account with this targeting. And there are, if you're afraid to even touch Facebook ads, I can help you. Just check out the link in the description and get on a call with me and I'll help you. I'll help you figure out. I'll do it for you, or I'll teach you. I'll have to charge you for it, but I'll teach you how to do it so that way you can run more effective Facebook ads. And then the final thing is, after you've got your social posting up and going, you're doing video consistently on there, going live, because to be honest, you get a lot of engagement going live, and then you can reuse the videos afterwards, so you're not losing it once you go live. And then you're taking that and you're running a simple one ad with as little as $5 a day. Don't think with Facebook ads you have to go crazy. And the cool part is Facebook bills you on an incremental threshold level. So you don't have to invest, like let's say you decide you're going to spend $500 in Facebook ads. They don't automatically charge you $500 flat rate on the spot. They are going to charge you in threshold levels as you spend. Depending on if you have a lifetime budget or if you have a daily budget, they'll still charge you by threshold. So the cool part is you can run ads, not spend your entire budget all at once, and if they stop performing for you, you can pause them, you can edit them. Just be aware that at least the first 3 days of running a Facebook ad, you're going to have a grace period where the Facebook pixel is learning, where Facebook actually is learning based on what your audience is and based on who they feel you're trying to reach, based on what you decided to put in your targeting. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 days. I give it 2 days, and if it's 3 days, if it's still learning and it hasn't gotten anywhere, then you need to maybe rethink your targeting. Maybe it's too granular. They can't really find an audience locally, but you can go as little as 10-mile radius in your local area targeting specific people. The final thing that I've said in previous videos is building that email list. If you use social media, you run an ad, and you build your email list through this process, because let's face it, if you're running the ad right on Facebook and you're not collecting any user data, there's a problem. It's called leads, it's called business. Don't just run to a page and expect them to call. Unless you're running like a towing company or some 24-hour emergency service with a giant phone number that says call now for help. Really, it's not effective to just send them to a page and then expect them to browse around to find you, to contact you. You need to direct these people, fill out their name, email, phone number at least, and collect some information and get them on an email list. Because bottom line is, if Facebook goes away, if Twitter, if Pinterest, if social media goes away, YouTube, if they all go away, the beautiful thing is you have an email list that you can fall back on. That you own that. That is your property. No one can take your email list from you. And I'm not saying to get them on the list and just spam them offers all the time. But once they're on your email list, depending on what your initial ad said, they're going to be interested prospects, so you're going to want to get back to them. And there's a whole process as a business that you don't want to waste these leads. You got to get back to them. You don't want to let your email list hanging, let these people hanging. Get back to them right away. Have automated follow-up. Have technology in place. And that's for a whole nother video. This is supposed to be a simple 20-minute, I know the video is getting long, but this was supposed to be a simple 3 steps for small business owners to take advantage of. And now this process, I can't wait to see you become successful just by this 3-step process. It's part of a more grandiose marketing budget. You may be doing other things, but if you focus on these 3 things, maybe starting in 2021 when you have a renewed perspective, let's start out the year great on a good note, and just start these 3 things. If you're a general contractor, if you're a realtor, if you're a lawyer, if you're honestly, it spans niched markets. You can use this process for any business, and there are techniques and strategies to doing it the right way, like software that you need to use. You're going to have skin in the game. You cannot have, I'm just going to make this a public service announcement. You cannot have a business without some form of advertising, whether it be organic or paid. You're going to get there a little bit quicker paid versus organic. You're going to have to stick it out. You can't rely on people referring your business. And now we have strategies where we can use reviews to try to get people to refer you. And that's a whole nother side of advertising, is online reputation and reviews. But I only wanted to stick with these 3 actionable things that you can do in your advertising today. Implement now. That way you're ready for 2021. And that is, start producing more video on social media and showing people who you are. If you hide behind your business, nobody's going to trust you. You may get a few referrals from friends and family, but you're not going to, you need to take a stranger who has no idea who you are and turn them into a customer. And how do you do that? How do they trust you? And it starts with video. It starts with personalized video so that people can see who you really are and what you do and how you do it and what you stand for. And they can see the man or woman behind what you're doing. And and once you do that and you establish a little bit of presence on Facebook, I'd start with Facebook. And again, you don't have to be across every single social media network. You can start with Facebook, and then what I would do is branch out. It doesn't cost you anything to have a profile across Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google, Twitter. Let's get and then Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you're repurposing these videos that you produce on Facebook and putting them on a YouTube channel. You need to utilize these other platforms, but it doesn't mean you have to create original and unique content for every single channel. Like, there's a misconception there. We do need to treat each platform like Snapchat and TikTok and these new, the younger demographics are using those. But and more, a lot more people are starting to use those other channels as well. However, the point is, take that content that you made and just post it across to all of them. You have nothing to lose. And I have software in the description called Social Pilot that can help you with that. In that way, and again, check the description. I have the software listed there that you need, that you will absolutely crush it with if you take this 3-step method and start today. Get yourself a Facebook page. And here's the other side of the story that you cannot neglect. And this is a bonus tip that I have for you, is design. You cannot have a brand without good design. Do not overlook your logo. I know you're going to hear a lot of marketing and sales professionals say, your logo doesn't matter, your brand doesn't matter, your website doesn't matter. And they do have a valid point in one area. There is, your website matters, but it's the content and it's how it's laid out. There's trust. You can't have just a bunch of random garbage all over the site, and it can't look like it's from 1995. It has to be well put together, thought out, strategically targeting that audience that you're after. And that's where a lot of websites go wrong. They try to capture every single person on planet Earth that might come to their site, and they're forgetting to target their actual audience. So pay attention to your branding. Make a great logo for your company, one that you stand behind, down to the colors, and make sure your business cards, make sure any other external branded piece, flyers, sales pages, anything, folders, anything that you have that people see beyond offline, and then take that brand and make sure it's consistent online with the same colors, the same branded technique, same kind of look and feel. Make sure that spans across everything that you do. And it can be down to the slogan. If there's something that people always say about you, turn it into a slogan and make sure it's everywhere. And that way you have consistency in your branding, consistency in your marketing, and you can use that brand across your Facebook page, all the social networks, so everything looks consistent. And then if you dial in your online reputation with online reputation management software and review management software, your entire brand, down to the name, the images, everything can be consistent across the web. And that is where trust is earned. So I urge you today to take advantage of these 3 things. Take a look at the software in the description. And again, I am here to help you. That's the point of this video. That's the point of why I'm in business, is to help you. I'll answer any questions down below, and check out the links in the description. And I hope this was helpful. And please give this a like, a thumbs up, and hit the bell for notifications. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.